What's going on, YouTubers? So I am just making a quick video to give you guys some reference as for how this car, the Chevy Bolt here, it's a 2017 Premier, how it does with road trips. And so I normally don't take this thing on very long road trips, but it is capable of doing so now with Electrify America and a lot of other third-party DC fast chargers. But I'm going to do a quick road trip to Marlton, New Jersey from Ashburn, Virginia. It's a little over 180 miles, and I've got to stop in the meantime for work. So just to give you guys a reference, right now it's showing 224 miles, a maximum of 282, a minimum of 183. So theoretically, and I have the air conditioning on right now, if I were to just turn that off, you can see that my mileage, estimated mileage, does increase. So theoretically, I could probably do it on one full charge. I don't think I will. I have to stop tomorrow at a couple of work locations. One's in Marlton and one's in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, and that is near Atlantic City. And then I've got to make my way back home. So the game plan is to stop in Northeast Maryland, just the tip of the Chesapeake Bay, and charge from whatever I'm at to about 80%, and then hopefully have enough to make that swing back down South Jersey through Delaware to Northeast Maryland and charge up again. I was going to stop anyways, so stopping is not a big deal. Need to get some lunch. It's a little late in the day, but need to get some lunch. And so just to kind of give you guys some reference, supercharging or DC fast charging is not really that big of a deal. And it does not really impact one's driving. So as you can see, the light is now solid. It has completed a full charge to 100%. No hilltop reserve, and it is estimating, based off of my driving lately, that I will get somewhere between 230 miles. So I've been doing quite a bit of highway traveling, so that's why you're not seeing quite higher of a reference that you normally would. Yep, your Bolt has completed charging. Excellent. And so that's hopefully a good reference for you guys. So stay tuned, more to come. Thanks. Okay, so I made a stop, and I've got roughly 200 miles. I was using some air conditioning. It is about, wow, it's 95 degrees out now here. And as you can see, I used 8.3 kilowatt and traveled 40.3 miles. So my destination of Marlton, New Jersey shouldn't be an issue with the remaining range. And as you can remember, the beginning, when I left my house, I had 230 miles estimated range. Well, I went 40 miles, and it says I have an estimated range of 200 miles. So it really is actually pretty efficient if you're just not flogging on the throttle all the time and just taking it easy. I mean, I wasn't speeding necessarily, but I wasn't exactly doing the speed limit either. So anyways, just moving with traffic, and that's what I've achieved. So next stop will be the ChargePoint DC fast charger in Northeast Maryland, and let's see what type of range I've got when I get there and how quick it charges from whatever it's at to roughly about 80% battery. So stay tuned. Okay, also just wanted to give you a reference. This is to the destination of Northeast Maryland, where I'm going to hook up with the ChargePoint DC fast charger. And this car charges a maximum of 50 kilowatt per hour on the DC fast charger. So 91 miles, and we've got an estimated range of 200 miles. Let's see how it does. Okay, so I've made it to Northeast Maryland, Royal Farms. Here we have a DC fast charger. It's capable of giving me 50 kilowatt hour of power, and I've got roughly 101 miles of range. And here's the address in case you don't have the ability to look up this Royal Farms. But anyway, so 27.6 kilowatt. So I've used less than half the battery to go 131 miles roughly. That's pretty good. And that was highway driving 95% of the time. And so I'm gonna charge up here. I'm gonna get some food, use the restroom, and should be good to go. I'm wondering if I will have to charge again at all on this trip. So anyways, stay tuned. Okay, so we've been charging for about 20-25 minutes, and we're kind of past the 80% mark, so it's dropped its charge rate significantly. So we've added about 60 miles of range. That's in about 20-25 minutes. Not bad. As before, that's the figure as far as climate used and just driving and the temperature out. So looks like I mapped it out. The round trip mileage would be roughly an additional 300 miles. So I think on my way home I'll stop here, swing by for a quick charge, and be able to make it home. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so I just wanted to do a little follow-up. I've done my work travel in South Jersey, and I'm here back again at the Royal Farms in Northeast Maryland, and looks like I've got 29 miles of range left, and I need to go about roughly 114 miles. And let's see, I used 69.1 kilowatt hour and traveled a distance of 320 miles. So it's really not been that bad. You can see there I used 97% of the travel for the battery, 3% for climate. That's just running air conditioning. Probably about half the time. It's been really hot. It's 91 degrees out, which has been good for the trip overall, because the car does seem to be a little bit better up in those higher temperatures. But I think there's like a logarithmic decline in efficiency at a certain ambient degree, and I'm not exactly sure what that is, but 91 is probably not great. Probably in the 80s, low 80s, upper 70s is probably ideal for these batteries, the liquid chemistry of them. But anyway, so that's great and all, but I am waiting because there's another car charging. So that's something to consider on these trips. You gotta plan for that sometimes to happen. So that's just an unfortunate variable, and that's the way it goes sometimes. So I'm gonna wait and politely ask how much longer this individual has to charge, and then I will make my way back home here shortly. Okay, so fortunately the young lady that was with her Leaf completed charging fairly quickly, and I was only here for like 2 minutes, and I guess the car has about 13% of range according to the charge point, at least the app. And yeah, so here we go. It's hopefully going to charge pretty quickly since the battery is pretty depleted. I believe we'll see a little over 50. Sometimes I've seen 53 kilowatt, and that's pretty good for this car. It's not the quickest on the DC fast chargers. It's kind of annoying how GM hasn't equipped it with faster charging capabilities, but I'm sure it's because they want to save the battery and give it a better longevity. And so we're gonna hang out here and probably be here for about half an hour, and that should give us enough to make it back to Ashburn, Virginia. Okay, so made it back on fumes, very low, and the trip total distance was 433.4 miles, 93.7 kilowatt used. It was very hot, rare for early June to be this warm. And I kind of had to hypermile it on my way home. For some reason, the charging station stopped, and I didn't want to start a new session, so I said, you know what, I might be able to make it on the energy that I had, and I charged it up to 115 miles, and I went a distance of 114, I believe, so from that charger in Northeast Maryland. So I was doing the speed limit, maybe a little bit above, but you can see it is more than capable of doing road trips like that. It is a little bit inconvenient to stop and charge, but if you have to get out and use the restroom, stretch your legs, get a bite to eat, it's really not too bad. So overall, pretty impressed. Just making these videos to help you guys maybe feel a little bit more comfortable with an EV purchase. We've had this EV now for almost 3 years, and we've got 38,000 miles on it and haven't done a single thing as far as maintenance goes for it. It's just a real workhorse, and super reliable, comfortable, nimble, sporty, and it's rare, and that's one thing I like about it. I did just recently purchase a Tesla Model 3 Performance, so I will be making content with that and just kind of comparing and contrasting the two. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hope you can subscribe and like. I'd like to produce more content like this if you guys are interested. Thanks.